Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.
With New Year's resolutions, many of us will make a vow to eat healthier, and that's a good thing. But what about our beloved pets and their nutrition? Greetings, Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here, and I'm on a mission to provide better nutrition for cats and dogs because truthfully, all pet food is dead food, which is why we created Rough Greens and Meow Greens in the first place. We bring their food back to life with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, antioxidants, and so much more. All in a tasty formula that your dog and cat will love. You can improve your pet's coat, digestion, energy, and have less vet bills. Let 2025 bring a new year and a new pet. Get a Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20. Get a 100% discount with promo code BESTFRIEND. You discover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code BESTFRIEND. Bring your pet's food back to life with Rough Greens. So good, your pet will ask for it by name.
Over the past 75 years, more than 10,000 chemicals have entered our food supply, but the EU allows just 300 additives. At Thrive Market, we prioritize quality, banning over 1,000 ingredients found in conventional grocery stores. Our Healthy Swap scanner helps you find better versions of your pantry essentials without the junk, dyes, or fillers, and everything is delivered right to your doorstep. So shop at a grocery store that actually cares about your health at thrivemarket.com/get-started for 30% off your first order and a free $60 gift.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
Is your credit in bad shape? Do you need a new car? Ready to buy a new house? You want to rent an apartment? Are you going to apply for a job? Any one of these activities, they're going to ask for a credit report and then check out your credit score. Let Dynamic Solutions 2 erase your negative credit remarks. You go to www.dynamicsolutions2, that's the number 2.com, or call 424-888-2820. Now, if you enter promo code ED or you mention Ed Opperman, you get a 10% discount. How's that? You get a free consultation, all negative items removed, get back in positive credit position. Dynamic Solutions 2, life-changing dynamic financial solutions.
Are you there, Elizabeth?
PureSoapFlakes.com,
Yeah,
218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap?
Okay,
Pure Soap Flake
we're on
Company
the
handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap
Beck.
flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure
Elizabeth,
Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs,
guys,
palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to sing a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars, laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. You can use that stuff all day long. It's great stuff. Order today at PureSoapFlakes.com or give them a call. 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Oh, great. Our Skype issue is solved.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at KMDlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into KMDlaw.com.
And I'm a plaintiff's attorney. And I like to say that if you got screwed and you need a lawyer, I'll take a look at your case.
Personal injury, wrongful death, And
the law firm is
BeckandLee.com, car accidents. Right? They handle it all efficiently and professionally. Okay, now, it doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at KMDLaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to KMDLaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW.
Breeze coming out of his ears.
For the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
So, which one graduated Harvard?
It's the Opperman Report.
I graduated
Join digital
Yale,
forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report.
You up again, and
now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Oh, well, I'm still on the air, so. All right, boy. Okay, Elizabeth is back, right?
Yeah, I'm here. I apologize. I'm on Wi-Fi. That may have something to do with it.
I don't think so. Well, but anyway, so you were saying that you graduated from Yale and your husband graduated from Harvard. I got an idea. Why don't we try and contact Elizabeth on her phone number? How's that?
That's fine by me.
That's a good. Okay, Danny, is there some way?
Yeah, send it over. Send it over on Skype right now.
Yeah, can you type it into the Skype chat room there, Elizabeth? Okay, really apologize to the audience. Elizabeth, you can also send me the number via on Facebook, and I'll pick it up there and I'll give it to Danny. Really apologize to the audience for this little technical problem here, but the big show. We got a lot of people. We've been talking about a lot of stuff here about Seth Rich, about Sean Lucas, about this attorney. This was just murdered. Well, we don't know if he was murdered or not, but an attorney did turn up dead there in Miami, washed up on the beach. Okay, we got the number there. Okay, you got to see the number, Danny? Okay. I got a big show coming up in a couple of weeks. Something I'm really excited about. I can't tell you too much about it right now, but we are talking. There's a very famous convicted killer, very famous case. His sentence is up for review. He's sitting there in prison, and we got him on tape admitting to an additional 30 murders and his partner to another 70 murders. So this is going to be exclusive information coming out on the Opperman Report. But today we have Elizabeth Lee Beck. The law firm is Beck and Lee. You can find them at BeckandLee.com. They also have a PAC that's involved with the financing this lawsuit, I believe, and it's called jampac.us, JAMPAC.us. Elizabeth Beck was also the attorney. You might have heard this during the, the primaries, the Republican primary, when Trump was running for presidency.
All right, we have Elizabeth on the phone.
Okay, we got you back, Elizabeth?
Yes, I'm back. Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. That's it. What are we going to do? At least we got you. Because I know you guys are having a lot of problems with the phones anyway. You're getting some kind of threatening phone calls as well over there.
It hasn't been a good week when it comes to phone communications. That's for sure.
Well, thank God you're safe at least. Well, why don't you give us a little description of what's going on with these threatening phone calls?
Oh, sure. On what is today? Saturday. On Thursday, my law office got a call from an unidentified caller who used some sort of voice disguising technology, so my receptionist couldn't even tell if it was a man or a woman.
Okay.
Asked a lot of questions about the pending lawsuit against the DNC and Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the former chair of the DNC, and ended the call with okie dokie. And when we Googled the number that the caller dialed from that popped up on the caller ID, it showed up as the number for Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz's Aventura office. Now, mind you, she's a defendant in this lawsuit, but she has counsel. So if indeed it is her or somebody in her staff, this is highly, highly irregular. So we notified the court right away. I don't know who called, but I do know that as my secretary told me, it was very bizarre.
And that number did show up on a caller ID, so that's the information you got. Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell
us?
What
do you think? I don't know what to make of it.
Well,
I really don't.
I'll tell you what I think. Nowadays, they have these spoofing. You can spoof caller ID. So it creates an issue. You know what I mean? Can we really trace it back or not? Did you hit star 57 when the call came in?
No.
Yeah. It's either star 57 or star 59. You can trace the call back. But there's some other things I want to talk to you about, too, off the air about that we could probably look into.
There's a lot of odd things happening in this lawsuit, I got to tell you.
Yes, I agree with you. Why don't we start, though, again, right back from the start, okay? You and your husband out of law school became plaintiff's attorneys. Most of your classmates went to work for big law firms and big insurance.
We did that too.
Sorry?
We did that for about a year or so.
Okay.
It's very easy to do that because they come calling with with these job offers, and you're a kid with a lot of school debt. You're not going to say no. And I'm not knocking that line of work. At the end of the day, the cases that you work on at the large law firms, they tend to be very large, and they tend to you don't get as much experience as you could early on in your career.
Okay.
And I'm not complaining. That's just the way it works. So you don't really see people. You don't really see real people. Your client. If your client is Samsung, what is that? That's not a person.
Right. So what kind of practice do you have now? What kind of law practice do you have now?
We do plaintiff's law. So if you were to ask what that is, the vast majority of our clients are people. Okay. And if they're businesses, they're small businesses. And if folks if they've been taken advantage of, or, pardon my colloquialism, but if they've been screwed over, we'll talk to you and see if you have a case.
And that what's led you to taking a deposition from President Mr. Trump?
I got to tell you, there must not be enough people doing this line of work, because after my law partner, my husband, and I opened up our law firm, we've gotten into all sorts of strange situations. Now, when the real estate market crashed, we got contacted by many, many people whose real estate investments were at stake. They had taken their savings or taken home equity lines and invested in real estate, and the market was crashing. And we represented them in investment recovery lawsuits as the market was crashing against banks and developers. And our clients were, frankly, in that debacle. Our clients were at the bottom of the totem pole, and they were getting completely squashed. So we brought their claims into court and tried to salvage what we could out of their portfolio. Now, in connection with that, we represented a group of people against in a project that went belly up in Fort Lauderdale, the Trump Fort Lauderdale project. And as a result of that, I ended up taking, now President Trump, but back then he was a real estate developer, his deposition a couple of times. Yeah.
What year was that?
Gosh, that was 2011.
Okay.
And deposition happened in 2011. And I didn't think too much of it, except in 2015, when President Trump threw his hat in the ring, the press started doing due diligence on everybody, and I got contacted by the New York Times, and they were researching the lawsuit that the Trump organization had been involved in, and they asked us some questions, and we were very forthright with them. And then we told them what happened at this deposition, and they wanted us to go forward with the story. I didn't think it was a big deal at the time, but I went forward with the story because, frankly, we live in a time when, Mitt Romney puts a dog on the roof of his car and everybody wants to know, and, President Obama eats some weird food somewhere everybody wants to know. So I figured, folks have a right to know how President Trump behaves in a deposition when, you can draw whatever conclusions you want. I thought it was a little odd, but anyway, I wanted to, it was basically a fight over a lunch break.
Right. Yeah, because my wife, when we had our baby, she used to work, and she was a nurse, she worked in a hospital, and they gave her time to go and use the breast pump. She brought it to work with her. It wasn't unusual. No one had a hard time about it. No one in the whole hospital had a problem with it. As a matter of fact, I think a bunch of the nurses, because she got the pump from another nurse. So I think it was a common practice.
The hospitals tend to be very favorable. They're very cognizant of the health benefits, and they're also. I think hospitals tend to be much more aware of giving mothers the choice on what to feed their baby. The law profession, not so much. I got to tell you. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to do this in the middle of a lobby. I had negotiated on behalf of everyone a lunch break. We were going to break for lunch. Okay. That's just the belt and suspenders of it all, is that we were going to break for lunch. And when we were about to break for lunch, the deponent basically pitched a fit and said we weren't going to take a break for lunch. And frankly, I needed a lunch break, and who the heck knows, maybe other people in the room needed a lunch break. I knew one lawyer had to use the restroom because he asked to go. Okay? So I put my foot down, and, it just escalated, and the deponent ran out of the room.
Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.
With New Year's resolutions, many of us will make a vow to eat healthier, and that's a good thing. But what about our beloved pets and their nutrition? Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here, and I'm on a mission to provide better nutrition for cats and dogs because, truthfully, all pet food is dead food, which is why we created Rough Greens and Meow Greens in the first place. We bring their food back to life with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, antioxidants, and so much more. All in a tasty formula that your dog and cat will love. You can improve your pet's coat, digestion, energy, and have less vet bills. Let 2025 bring a new year and a new pet. Get a Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20. Get a 100% discount with promo code BESTFRIEND. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code BESTFRIEND. Bring your pet's food back to life with Rough Greens. So good, your pet will ask for it by name.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
He ran out of the room.
And he called you disgusting.
Oh, yeah. He calls everybody disgusting, doesn't he?
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. I've read a couple of depositions with the...
Mother Teresa called me disgusting. I mean, he calls everybody disgusting.
Now, I've read a couple of depositions with Trump. He's very impatient, and he kept saying, is this going to take a long time? Because he has phone calls to make. He wants to run and make phone calls. Did he mention that at your deposition?
Oh, gee, he's so busy, aren't we all? Maybe he shouldn't get involved in a lawsuit.
Well, now we know he's calling the Russians. Hey, but when you were talking to, did he seem like presidential material when you met him?
I think that's a moot point because he's president.
Yeah. But at the time, though, when you
let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something. Whatever material President Trump is, that's presidential material. You want to know why? Because he's president. Sorry to break it to you. So that's the long and short of it.
But my question...
At the time, I thought it showed an intemperance that was unbecoming of the position of the presidency, but I can make criticisms towards all the candidates. I'm not a politician, you know. At the end of the day, I'm a lifelong Democrat. I'm a lifelong Democrat, and I campaigned unofficially. I campaigned for Bernie Sanders in the primary, and when push came to shove, when November rolled around, I voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
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 I'm still a Democrat.
Yeah, I live here in Nevada, you know, and you saw it was even mentioned in this hearing. Your husband mentioned it about the chair throwing incident here in Nevada, which was totally staged. We got totally robbed. They totally robbed us here over and over and over again. And I didn't actually vote. I stayed home. But I did. I know. I threw my support behind Trump, too, as well at the end there because we didn't even have a choice. We couldn't vote for Jill Stein here in Nevada. We didn't even have that choice.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only followed what happened in your state just a little bit, but I have gotten contacted by folks in Nevada, and they are beside themselves. They are so upset at what the party has done to the Democrats in Nevada. I'm not quite sure. I'm not an expert in state party politics, but I do know that I've heard that there has been something going on in Nevada that have made a lot of voters very, very angry.
Oh, yeah. After one of those conventions, the county convention, I believe it was,
yeah,
we had a rally the next day. They were so upset. And that was the night of the supposed chair throwing, which never really happened. But everyone was just so upset that we had a rally the next morning. Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And everyone just took to the streets. It was just but it's kind of, you know, it's about activism here. And a lot of resistance to, you know, different causes and stuff like that. And different, it's kind of getting the locals organized here. I can say that. So,
well, you know, we may have a difference of opinion, but without a solid societal structure, what do we have, really?
Right.
You know?
Now, how did this come about, this decision to sue the DNC for fraud?
Well, you know, I like I said, I've been involved in the Bernie campaign as a volunteer. I did phone banking, and as a result, we met a lot of people. And one of the folks we met was a gentleman by the name of Nico House, and he was a recent college graduate. He started Bernie Sanders, the Bernie Sanders support group at his college, and we met with him, and he was talking. He told us about all this. This very disturbing, I don't even know how to describe it, skullduggery that was going on in North Carolina, in the North Carolina Democratic Party. And then when the leaks happened, was starting with Guccifer 2.0 and then later on with WikiLeaks, it made sense what was going on, and at that point, we were hired by fellow Bernie supporters who were very irate over what had happened in the primary, and we filed the lawsuit in June of last year.
Yeah, Nico was the president.
But what you have to understand, when we were approached by folks, because we were Bernie supporters ourselves, we were able to be brought up to speed very quickly. You know, we weren't dismissive when people were talking about, well, you know, there's, you know, stuff happening, and that, you know, we weren't dismissive of that, and we didn't shut the door in their faces. We continued listening, and we were concerned. And then, of course, when the leaks happened, you know, we realized that legal action was the only course left.
Yeah, Nico was the president of the Students for Bernie in North Carolina. And he's one of my hosts, actually. I produce his show for him on Fridays. So I'm familiar.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with in fact, when he was interviewing you, I was running the board, you know, for that. But now the thing is, what went on there in North Carolina was he uncovered that the Hillary version of the DNC was inserting their own people into the Bernie campaign. And he did some great work on that. So you all got together and decided that the best plan was to sue the DNC for fraud. Now, how does this work? It's a class action lawsuit. Can I get involved? Can I become a plaintiff?
Well, you don't have to become a plaintiff to participate if the court allows it to motor ahead as a class action.
Okay.
You only need one person for a class action. We have over 100. That's not really necessary, but we put 100 people in there. But you don't have to be a class representative to participate.
Okay.
It really is up to the court. It can include everybody. If the court allows it to move forward as a class action, it'll include everybody.
And what are you seeking? What kind of relief are you seeking?
We are seeking, it's a damages claim based on the donations that people have made to Bernie Sanders' campaign and also to the DNC. But we have other relief that we are seeking as well. There's a class of people that are the Democrats that we are also seeking to represent. But if you look at the prayer for relief and the complaint, we ask for declaratory and injunctive relief as well, which is we're asking the court to declare defendant's violation and failure to follow the charter and bylaws of the Democratic Party as illegal, and we're seeking to have the court prevent them from violating it. And we're also seeking the return of folks who donated to the Bernie Sanders campaign, believing that the race was a fair one.
And what about this the issue of the security breach of the DNC donor information?
Yes, that's another claim that is in the complaint. We are alleging that the defendants violated the donors' rights by having their data hacked or leaked or what have you. We'll have to find out how exactly that happened during the discovery phase.
And in this, the Guccifer 2.0 has come up, and the WikiLeaks releases have come up in this. How does that pertain to this?
The documents that have been leaked or hacked or whatever the case may be, those documents are purportedly from the DNC servers. Now, as far as I know, nobody at the DNC has stated that these documents are not true. That is not a defense that has been raised so far. What they have said is that they were taken, their servers were hacked, and this information was taken without their permission. Now, whether or not such documents can be used in a civil case is an issue that will come up in this court. But there is case law that allows such documents to be used in civil cases. So we'll have to see how our court rules. But people have brought the issue of fruit of the poisonous tree, concerns that if you get evidence by breaking the law, you can't use that evidence in a court of law. But I would like to say that applies in criminal cases. This is not a criminal case. This is a civil case, and the plaintiffs were not responsible for the information being leaked or hacked. So as a result of that, we are hopeful that the court will allow the documents in as evidence. And there's good law supporting that position.
Now, what is the defense? What has their response been to your original complaint?
Well, first they tried to get rid of the complaint by saying we didn't serve it properly, which is usually a big waste of time.
Right.
But they did.
Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.
With New Year's resolutions, many of us will make a vow to eat healthier, and that's a good thing. But what about our beloved pets and their nutrition? Greetings, Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here, and I'm on a mission to provide better nutrition for cats and dogs because truthfully, all pet food is dead food, which is why we created Rough Greens and Meow Greens in the first place. We bring their food back to life with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, antioxidants, and so much more. All in a tasty formula that your dog and cat will love. You can improve your pet's coat, digestion, energy, and have less vet bills. Let 2025 bring a new year and a new pet. Get a Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20. Get a 100% discount with promo code BESTFRIEND. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code BESTFRIEND. Bring your pet's food back to life with Rough Greens. So good, your pet will ask for it by name.
And as we were getting ready to rebut their assertion that they were not served properly, our process server passed away very suddenly. And that was Mr. Sean Lucas. Generally, when you serve a lawsuit on a defendant, the only proof you have that you've done it is the word of your process server, okay? And they sign a paper saying that I served them. In our case, we did the somewhat novel approach of live streaming service on Facebook, primarily because so many people are interested in this lawsuit, and we wanted the folks who see this lawsuit as their lawsuit to see what service of process looked like. So I hired a filmmaker to shadow our process server and film service of process. I didn't know how process of service was going to turn out. Sometimes they run away from you and start hiding in the bushes. I'm not kidding. But you never know how it's going to turn out. But I was hoping that service would be successful, and we hired a filmmaker, and he live streamed it on Facebook, okay? So when our process server, Mr. Sean Lucas, unfortunately passed away very suddenly, we had a hearing on service of process, and we were able to show the court the video of Mr. Lucas serving the DNC. The court granted their motion to dismiss based on lack of service, and all that meant was that we were to reserve on the DNC, but the court did chastise the DNC, the defendant, at that hearing, and subsequent to that hearing, the lawyer for the DNC actually accepted service. So we just had a process server go over to the law firm's office and drop it off. That's how easy it was, and it should have been that simple from the get-go. To this day, I don't know why they decided to fight us on service of process.
Yeah, I've served papers many, many times. That is very unusual, especially with a big company or a big... Yeah, that's very unusual. You go into a doctor's office, you serve 20 people in it.
It's a big waste of resources. It's kind of a pointless fight.
Now,
it's very easy to serve someone,
Right, and especially when there are all professionals involved. It's not like you're chasing down a divorced husband.
Exactly. You're not chasing down someone who actually literally might hide in the bushes from you. Okay? This is a big corporation.
Right.
They're not going anywhere, in other words.
But now, the name Sean Lucas. Now this everyone would know this name because we're very early on in all this. Right after his passing, there was a meme that was floating around that said that the lead counsel of this DNC lawsuit, Sean Lucas, died. He wasn't the lead counsel. He was a process server.
Correct.
Now, you looked into the circumstances of his death, correct?
As much as I was able to. I'm not next of kin.
Right.
So I was stymied by D.C. police. But.
And what did you find out?
Well, I found out that he was found on the floor of his home by his girlfriend, and they did an autopsy. I was not able to get a copy of the autopsy, as I'm not next of kin, but I got the final police report, and the police report said that he died. He died in the manner they deemed it to be an accident, and a cocktail of 3 drugs was found in his system, one of which was fentanyl.
Which is almost like if I'm familiar, it's almost like what is that called? An anesthetic you would use during surgery. That's how serious that drug is.
I understand it's a very, very, very potent drug.
Right.
He had 2 other drugs in his system. I don't know if those drugs are related to his death at all. I just don't know.
Right.
But he was a healthy young man I believe in his 30s, and you could see him on the video. Okay.
Right.
He looks to be a strong mind and body.
Well, I can tell you this, and I think I've talked to Nico about it. Early on, when I first started reporting on this, I was correcting the thing that he was a process server and not the lead attorney. I was contacted by a lifelong friend of his who gave me the following information. That his fiancée, Savannah, is the one who found the body. He was engaged to be married. They had just started a business involving coconut oil. It was a coconut oil business. Sean worked as a DJ part-time, wasn't depressed. He was in great shape because he was a martial artist. And also, too, that he wasn't... When I asked if he was a drug user, he hemmed and hawed and said, well, maybe recreational drugs, but nothing serious like a drug addict. Now, I just contacted this source again recently when I told him you were coming on the show, if he had any questions for you, if he wanted to talk to you. And he felt that after the autopsy that he says, well, considering the people around Sean, his friends and his family, if they felt that anything suspicious was going on, that they would be making a big stink. That's how he left it off with me.
Yeah.
Does that jive with your feeling about this, or are you still uneasy about it?
I don't think it's my place to say. I'm not a professional investigator. I'm not in law enforcement. So I'm just telling you, the facts from my end. I'm not going to tell you what I think. I don't know what happened to Mr. Lucas.
Right.
I don't know.
Did you find it unusual, though, that they would file that motion challenging the service?
Look, I have 2 potential witnesses in this case. Both healthy young men die very suddenly. One is a clear murder, okay? That's what I know.
What's the other one?
And Mr. Seth Rich,
okay.
He could have been a potential witness in this case, okay? But he was gunned down, and both of these gentlemen died in D.C., by the way.
Right. Okay.
Those are facts. I'm just telling you the facts, okay? I had 2 witnesses die in this case.
Now, how would Seth Rich have been a witness?
He was employed by the DNC. He was, I believe, in charge of voter. He was in the. I believe he was in the IT department, and he was in charge of drumming up voter registration. It would be interesting to know, to get his testimony on how the parent organization, the DNC, its involvement in how the state primaries are run. And I would assume he would be one of the people who can give us some testimony on that.
Have you been in touch since Seth Rich's death? Have you been in touch with anyone related to that investigation?
I wouldn't even know who to contact, and I don't even know if it's my place to do so. I'm a civil attorney. I'm not a private investigator. I'm not in law enforcement. I don't even think it's appropriate for me to contact the next of kin.
Okay. Well, he did have an attorney that was claiming to represent him. He had put up his name Bachman, I believe it was, and he had put up a $100,000 reward. And I guess he was representing himself as representing the family or something like that. I believe since then.
Yeah, Mr. Seth Rich's murder, it's a murder. I'm sorry,
yeah.
He was shot.
Right.
Okay, he was shot. It was a murder. It still remains unsolved. And there's a large reward, a 6-figure reward out that several people have now thrown funds into the kitty, and nobody is stepping forward to claim it with any information on who may be responsible for Mr. Seth Rich's death.
Okay, have you don't have an investigator working for you on this? For the DNC lawsuit?
What do you mean by investigator?
Yeah, you don't have an investigator helping you with this kind of stuff and investigating these kind of things for you?
We're a civil law firm, you know.
Right.
It's not our place to. It's not our place to. My goal as a civil lawyer is to try to get the best result I can get in this lawsuit. You know?
Right. And now a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Tina Helmuth is writing an ongoing series of fact-fiction books that boldly takes on today's most heinous crimes. Suffer the Little Children, The Wrath of the Father, and Unbreakable. Deeply researched and mixed with the supernatural, good versus evil makes these thrillers hard to put down. Available at Lulu.com in paperback or ebook.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
And let me tell you something else. I'm going to go off on a tangent and a rant, okay?
Go ahead.
I'm 42 years old. 42? Okay, 41 or 42. And let me tell you something, okay? I have spent my whole life minding my own business, trying to stay out of trouble, and I have never been called a conspiracy theorist before in my life, ever. And in the past year, I cannot tell you how many times I've been accused of this. It baffles me that just because I am calling, just because I am expressing concern that a young man is gunned down in a street in D.C. and that murder still remains unsolved, that I am expressing concern about his death and hoping that it gets solved. These people come out of the woodwork and they start, yelling at me and calling me a conspiracy theorist. And I take issue with that because I am not a conspiracy theorist.
Well, the thing, conspiracies do exist. When I was working as a defense investigator back in New York, back in the 80s, like the Pizza Connection trial and the Commission trial, my clients were charged with conspiracy charges. So you can't say that conspiracies exist. People go to prison for conspiracy charges all the time. So I don't know. The word doesn't offend me like it does some people, but I know that the phrase conspiracy theorist kind of is like people just believe in every kind of wacky thing like UFOs and stuff, which you may or not believe in, who really doesn't pertain to this conversation. But the accusation of conspiracy theorists never really offends me because conspiracies do exist. Even this lawsuit against the DNC, they would be conspiring to rig the election against Bernie, correct? It's more than one person.
Well, we see it as a very straightforward fraud case.
Okay.
I'm going to lie to get you to do something that inures to my benefit. I lied, and you've been harmed. Very simple.
And why is Debbie Wasserman Schultz named individually?
She was the former chair of the DNC.
Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.
With New Year's resolutions, many of us will make a vow to eat healthier, and that's a good thing. But what about our beloved pets and their nutrition? Greetings, Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here, and I'm on a mission to provide better nutrition for cats and dogs because truthfully, all pet food is dead food, which is why we created Rough Greens and Meow Greens in the first place. We bring their food back to life with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, antioxidants, and so much more. All in a tasty formula that your dog and cat will love. You can improve your pet's coat, digestion, energy, and have less vet bills. Let 2025 bring a new year and a new pet. Get a Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20. Get a 100% discount with promo code BESTFRIEND. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code BESTFRIEND. Bring your pet's food back to life with Rough Greens. So good, your pet will ask for it by name.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That's one nexus.
And you have information that would indicate that she personally was involved in rigging this primary?
Well, she was head of this organization. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what the discovery process brings out. People, folks think that when you file a lawsuit, you have to make a decision right away about whether or not it has merit or not. Hold on a second. I'm doing an interview. I'll join you in a second. Hold on. Let me finish this. I'm sorry. So, if you look at it from the point of view of a murder trial, when you arrest somebody because there's a dead body and a hot gun, you are not making a determination of whether or not this person shot the victim. You're just arresting someone, okay? We're at a very preliminary stage of this civil lawsuit. And people need to remember that we haven't even gone into the phase where we're digging into the evidence, okay? And so when folks call for the dismissal of this lawsuit, I have to ask you, what is your vested interest in this case? Why are you so afraid of this case moving forward and the evidence coming out? If there's nothing there, there's nothing there. I don't think there's nothing there. I think there's a lot there. But people should not be afraid of bringing claims in court and letting the process work itself out and seeing what comes out.
I totally agree with you. Now,
Yeah.
Where are we in court right now? Because you filed your initial complaint. They came back. They said invalid service. And then they had some kind of complaints, too. They were saying, like, we can't really identify who would be a Democrat. And even that they were saying that they're allowed to rig the election.
So what happened is they took another bite at the apple and this time tried to dismiss the lawsuit on other grounds. And on April 25th, the court had a hearing on defendant's second motion to dismiss. And a lot of the defendant's defenses came up. It was a long hearing, 3.5 hours, and the transcript is publicly available. You can read it line by line. It's the closest thing you'll get to being there. And they brought up some, I can only call them as doozies. One is that the defendants laid their cards on the table and basically said, look, our legal position is that we have the right to choose our candidate as we please. Okay? And if we wanted to, we can choose the Democratic nominee for president. I believe the phrase they used was in cigar smoke-filled back rooms. That's not what we did here, but we could have. Okay? And I believe at that moment the gallery got very squirrely because it was news to the voting public. You know?
Yeah, I read that transcript. And I got to
tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the difference. Okay. I like to go back to murder because it's a very simple concept, all right? The taking of a human life. Let's say you're accused of murder. Okay, Ed? Let's say you're accused of murder. You can come out and say, oh, no, I didn't kill this person. Right? Which that's a straight-out denial. Or, Ed, you can say, you know what? I could have killed this person. I had a right to. He deserved it. That's not what happened. I didn't kill him. But you know what? He deserved it. And it would have been perfectly fine if I did kill him. You see how there's a distinction in those two answers?
Sure.
So what the DNC basically said in court is the latter. We didn't rig it. We didn't pick our candidate in the back room. But you know what? We could have done that if we wanted to. It's perfectly fine. We don't see anything wrong with that. So people were very shocked at that, what they perceived to be what they saw as an admission. You know?
Yeah, the defense doesn't seem very well prepared either. Are they taking it seriously?
I don't know. You'd have to. You'd have to ask them.
And how do you feel about the judge?
Oh, I have faith in our judicial system.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. I hope this case reaches the right result. And Mr. Mr. Bronson Wiseman is a
Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.
With New Year's resolutions, many of us will make a vow to eat healthier, and that's a good thing. But what about our beloved pets and their nutrition? Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here, and I'm on a mission to provide better nutrition for cats and dogs because truthfully, all pet food is dead food, which is why we created Rough Greens and Meow Greens in the first place. We bring their food back to life with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, antioxidants, and so much more. All in a tasty formula that your dog and cat will love. You can improve your pet's coat, digestion, energy, and have less vet bills. Let 2025 bring a new year and a new pet. Get a Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20. Get a 100% discount with promo code BESTFRIEND. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code BESTFRIEND. Bring your pet's food back to life with Rough Greens. So good, your pet will ask for it by name.
he's an attorney in Miami-Dade. He's a federal prosecutor.
Right.
Federal employee, much like our judge. And he was found dead, washed ashore in Hollywood Beach, which is just a stone's throw, pretty much, from the courthouse. Okay. And his death is yet unsolved. It happened fairly recently. He was a friend of a friend.
Did you've met him in person?
No.
Okay. Now this is very unusual for a federal prosecutor to wind up dead in period. Now, has this been confirmed that it's a murder? Because the last thing I read that there was an injury to his head. He was found in the ocean, washed up in the ocean, with his dress clothes on. He was clothed.
Yeah. So he had some sort of trauma to the head, which could very well have been a gunshot wound. So I don't know if they're ruling it officially right now as homicide. That I don't know. But all I know is he's a father of 3. He became a federal prosecutor, I believe, in January. He lived in Fort Lauderdale. All I know.
Now, his expertise was prosecuting like a visa fraud and what was passport fraud, that kind of thing, right? Immigration kind of crimes.
Yeah, now you're going into areas where I don't know too much about because I have not had a chance to look into what Mr. Wiseman was working on as a federal prosecutor down here in the Southern District.
Now, is this making headline news over there? Are they talking about this all the time?
I think the Miami Herald wrote an obituary, not as much as it should.
But what about like the nightly news? I'm still unsolved murder federal prosecutor. Is that happening over there?
I don't know, and not as much as it should. I'm sure.
Yeah, you would think that would be a very serious.
You couldn't tell me that Mr. Wiseman's death is getting some coverage, but.
Are you familiar with these theories about these Awan brothers who worked for the DNC and involved in again, this might come up in your case too because they were involved somehow with the servers and stuff like that, and they took off with some servers and phones and laptops and stuff? Is that what happened?
The Awan brothers situation seems very concerning to me. They are foreign nationals who were paid an exorbitant amount of money to be IT techs, and they're affiliated with some criminal car theft ring. I'm not too sure about the details, but apparently they were on staff with Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and now they have fled the country. I understand. How that ties in with anything, I don't know.
Were they charged with anything?
It's a little concerning. I don't know, but I tell you, it's a little concerning if our congressmen and women are letting criminal elements into their staff.
And they were involved in the DNC as well.
I don't know. I don't know what their involvement is with the DNC.
Oh, so then they were working for Wasserman Schultz.
I believe so, but don't quote me on that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. What is the next stage in this class action lawsuit?
After that hearing, we're waiting on the court to issue its order on defendant's motion to dismiss. One of 3 things can happen. The court can grant the motion with prejudice, and I'm sorry, that means the case is over, okay? Or the court can deny it, in which case the case doesn't mean we win. It means we move forward to the next phase, which is the discovery phase, and that's where the fun begins. Or the third possibility is that the court may grant the motion to dismiss without prejudice. Doesn't mean the case is over, but the court may wish us to punch up some claims, revise some claims, and improve upon the complaint, and then file an amended complaint. So those are the three possibilities. You know, what happened 2 days ago was we got a phone call. Did I tell you about this?
Go ahead.
So so we had the hearing, and you know, we're waiting on the court to issue its order. And 2 days ago, today's Saturday. So Thursday, late afternoon, my law office gets a very strange phone call from someone, okay? And my receptionist answered the call. They would not identify themselves, okay? This caller would not identify him or herself as to this person was talking with, and started asking a lot of questions about the lawsuit. And my receptionist, realized that this caller, this anonymous caller, was using some some technology to hide their voice,
right.
Okay, to disguise their voice. And after asking a bunch of questions about the lawsuit, and we don't give out any information that's not public anyway, the caller said, okie dokie, and hung up. And when we looked up the number, when we Googled the number where they called from, it turns out it's the Aventura office of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Now, I understand that it's very easy to spoof numbers, so I don't know who called us, okay? But we immediately sent an email to the DNC's attorneys, and we notified the court. They responded. They said, you know, you can read their response. They said they referred the matter to D.C. Metro Police. I don't know what to make of that.
Have you heard back from D.C. Metro Police?
No.
Okay. You know what? They have these apps and these phone cards that you can use that not only do the caller ID spoofing, but will also at the same time do the alteration of the voice. So that might be an indication that it was spoofed. But, you know, listen, who knows?
Who knows? I mean, it's the Aventura office, which apparently that office is closed for renovations anyway.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, that's on there. Okay.
Yeah. It's the office in our county in Dade. Aventura is in Dade.
Now, is that the only phone call problem you've had? No other threats or anything like that?
We get phone calls all the time. Cullen, actually, my co-counsel, Cullen O'Brien, recently got a very concerning phone call. You know, he doesn't have, he's a very private person, but now he's starting to get phone calls, okay? And he got a concerning call from somebody who won't identify himself, and started talking about Cullen's family, and started talking about Mr. Baranton Wiseman, who, the prosecutor who passed away, who, by the way, is also a friend of a friend to Cullen as well, okay? And Cullen got very, and this caller, he also seemed to know about, you know, some personal stuff about Cullen as well, which he found very concerning. So he hung up on him.
And what about that number? Were you able to trace that number back, or no, it's blocked?
No, it was, from what I understand, Cullen told me that it was one of those, you know, no number showed up.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
I can understand why you'd be uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
You think we should quit?
No, I don't think you should quit. You know, I'll talk to you off the air. I deal with this stuff all the time. Okay, I'll talk to you off the air. I've gotten some phone calls, you know, with.
Let me tell you, Ed. There's got to be some mouth that's going to put the bill on the cat, right?
Yeah. Now, when you get to the discovery phase, what are you looking forward to picking up from the other side?
Y'all are egging me on. I'm sorry, what's that?
When you get to the discovery phase, what do you hope to expect to collect from the other side? What are you going to go after?
Oh, I'd like to keep an open mind. We'll see what we see.
Okay.
A lot of documents have already come out through WikiLeaks anyway, but let's see what there is. And of course, you know, during the discovery phase, there's also depositions, which is where the real fun begins.
Who would you depose right off the bat? Wasserman Schultz?
Everybody. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of people. I don't know, you know. It'll be a lot of people.
Have you been in touch with the Bernie campaign? How do they feel about this?
I don't know. I don't care.
Have they contacted you?
This is look at who's involved. It's the plaintiff versus the DNC.
Right.
I don't see Bernie mentioned anywhere in there.
Okay.
His opinion is immaterial to me.
Now, I donated money to Bernie. If I were to join in this action, would I get any money back?
I hope so. You're a client. I hope so. That's our goal.
Yeah. Now, another thing I found out that's very interesting in all this is that when I donated to Bernie, I used this Act Blue, and I found out that Act Blue takes 3.9% of that donation. Where does that money go?
It's a good question. I do know that they take some fee. What they do with it, I don't know.
Now, but does it stay within the DNC, or does it go just to this Act Blue company that they're just in the business of taking this, like PayPal?
Oh, I don't know.
Because if that's the case, you would think the DNC would use PayPal and only have 1.5% taken away, rather than giving Act Blue, unless it's a friend of the Clintons or it's a friend, somebody's buddy. You know what I mean? Getting this inside contract to get 4% of every donation to the DNC. That's a great gig. I'll do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know how. I know they take a fee.
Right. No, it was in the thing I read today from you sent me. Now, also too, we're gonna have a break coming up in a minute, a little commercial break. We're here today with Elizabeth Lee Beck. You can find them on their website, beckandlee.com. That's her and Jared Beck, her husband.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.
With New Year's resolutions, many of us will make a vow to eat healthier, and that's a good thing. But what about our beloved pets and their nutrition? Greetings, Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here, and I'm on a mission to provide better nutrition for cats and dogs because, truthfully, all pet food is dead food, which is why we created Rough Greens and Meow Greens in the first place. We bring their food back to life with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, antioxidants, and so much more. All in a tasty formula that your dog and cat will love. You can improve your pet's coat, digestion, energy, and have less vet bills. Let 2025 bring a new year and a new pet. Get a Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20. Get a 100% discount with promo code BESTFRIEND. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code BESTFRIEND. Bring your pet's food back to life with Rough Greens. So good, your pet will ask for it by name.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
Hey, check out our brand new sponsor, Dynamic Solutions 2. That's the number 2. They offer a life-changing, dynamic financial solution. The finest in fast, professional, affordable credit repair. Is your credit in bad shape? Do you need a new car? Ready to buy a new house? You want to rent an apartment? Are you going to apply for a job? Any one of these activities, they're going to ask for a credit report and then check out your credit score. Let Dynamic Solutions 2 erase your negative credit remarks.
They have affordable monthly prices. They accept Visa, MasterCard, PayPal options available. You go to www.dynamicsolutions, that's the number 2.com, or call 424-888-2820. 424-888-2820. Now, if you enter promo code ED or you mention Ed Opperman, you get a 10% discount. How's that? You get a free consultation, all negative items removed, get back in positive credit position, Dynamic Solutions 2, life-changing dynamic financial solutions. 424-888-2820. Tell them Ed Opperman sent you. You get a 10% discount. PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Now, when you were volunteering for Bernie, did you notice any of those same kind of shenanigans that Nico talked about, like stuff that was just so blatant? And when you go back and look at these things with hindsight, it was just so obvious. But at the time, we were just so gullible. Did you notice anything?
I don't want to say that we're gullible. I think that's one of the accusations that I think that is very common in fraud cases. Is the defendant insinuates that you sort of deserve to be defrauded.
All right.
There's something to do with your lack of perception, so I really take issue with that. I'll give you a good example of probably the greatest financial fraud perpetrated in recent history is Bernie Madoff. You know Bernie Madoff?
Sure.
Ponzi schemer in New York, yeah. Well, is there anybody out there that thinks that Bernie Madoff didn't break the law? I don't think there's anybody out there that really wants to ride to Bernie Madoff's defense. But in hindsight, now that the whole house of cards has fallen down, there were signs.
Yeah.
He had these great, year after year returns. If hindsight being what it is, there were signs, but I think it would be wrong to tell the folks who had faith in Bernie Madoff and invested with him, well, tough luck. You were stupid. Okay? I think that would be wrong, and I don't think the law takes that position either. So, yes, hindsight being what it is, there was stuff coming certainly out of North Carolina, but I think that people had faith in the American political process. I mean, for Pete's sakes, we're not talking about some fly-by-night investment operation. This is a primary election in our country. I don't think it's so wrong to have faith in that process.
I agree with you. And I was never a Democrat. I was I'm a socialist. Way to the left. But I saw Bernie and I says, I can get behind this guy. I like what he's saying. And I even told people around me, I said, well, even if only he gets 30% of the vote, we'll take those people behind him. We'll organize those people, those Bernie supporters, and we'll organize them. And I went down there, I registered, and I went down we had a caucus here. And I remember, getting online, and everyone there is wearing Hillary T-shirts. All the people running the things wearing Hillary T-shirts. And I just said, well, okay, still we got a fair shot here, And I'm thinking back, though, now. Because they gave you this little card when you said, okay, I'm going to be a Bernie guy. They gave you a little card. And then when you went to your room in the school for the precinct that you live in, there was no accounting for who went to that room. There was no accounting. There was no numbers on these cards. They could have sent anybody to any room. They could have said, well, we need more Hillary people in this room. We need more Bernie people in that room. But the worst thing that gets me the most right now is thinking back. And thinking back to the people, I never see any of those people in that room. These are supposed to be my neighbors. I've never seen any of them, you know. But it's all hindsight now, you know.
It's all hindsight. But and the other thing is, you know, there's a lot of. The only thing I can say is deceptive defenses that are put forth. For example, one argument that I've heard, which makes my blood boil, Ed, is Hillary would have won anyway. First of all, we don't know that, okay? And secondly, you know, what happened to Lance Armstrong? Okay, nobody's going to deny that Lance Armstrong is a good bicyclist. But when he was caught doping, what happened? What happened to all his wins? He lost them, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think Lance Armstrong could have used the defense of, well, I would have won anyway without doping, so let me keep my wins? Does that make sense to you?
I know exactly what you're saying, but not only that, Lance Armstrong, at least, yeah, he has a dignity to keep his head down now. He's not blaming the Russians and blaming all these other people for it.
Well, that's horrible.
You know?
That's horrible.
Yeah.
No, so there's that. And there's another, there's a lot of what I consider to be very deceptive and destructive defenses that are put off to justify what happened in the Democratic primary. And I give them all short shrift. That's one defense. Which is that she would have won anyway, and I don't think we should reward cheating. I don't think so. Okay.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, how is your lawsuit being received from? I'm
sorry. What was that you said?
The lawsuit. How is it being received? Are people supporting it? Are people encouraging you? Do people know about it?
By and large, people have been very encouraging. I think after the elections were over, I think people were very despondent over how the primary was handled, and they really didn't know if they would get any righting of the wrong. So this lawsuit, I don't know how this lawsuit is going to turn out, but it's giving folks some encouragement that there will be some sort of accounting, and I hope there would be. Obviously, there's negative responses as well. There are people who think that this is a destructive political maneuver, and I would just like to tell those people that I'm not a political lawyer, okay? I do personal injury, I do plaintiff's law, okay? I'm getting ready to sue a hospital on behalf of a lady who had a stroke. All right? But this is not my first rodeo when it comes to fraud cases. So to me, this is a fairly straightforward civil fraud case. So for the folks who are wringing their hands and saying, oh, think of the political ramifications, my response is, I don't care. Okay? I'm not a politician, and this isn't a political case. So, you know.
How about the press coverage?
Where they may on that score. That's not my concern.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for the Democratic Party whatsoever. What do you how about the press coverage of this litigation? Are they getting it straight? Are they getting it correct?
That's very interesting. So one of the we all know that Donna Beale fed CNN questions to one of the candidates, Secretary Clinton, in advance of a debate. I couldn't tell you why the mainstream media seems so reluctant to give coverage to this case. One excuse may be, well, the case hasn't really gotten far enough. And I would just respond by saying, listen, Jodi Arias, okay, we covered that case blow by blow. Anybody sneezed, the newspapers were all over it and covering it. Okay, and this case, there's not a peep in mainstream media. There's been a few pieces that came out that were biased, is putting it mildly. I believe the Washington Post wrote an article on the passing of Mr. Seth Rich and buried coverage of the lawsuit, and they're calling it a frivolous lawsuit, which I believe borders on journalistic malpractice. Okay, I mean, after we had a court hearing where the court said that this was a very interesting case. There has been no indication from the court that it considers this case to be frivolous. Where the Washington Post did call it frivolous, I think borders on journalistic malpractice. But other than a few pieces like that, mainstream has not covered it. Now, the independent press, and interestingly, both the independent left and the independent right press have been covering this, for which I will be eternally grateful for that coverage, because it has allowed word of this lawsuit to get out to folks who are members of the class. And we are doing our part to get the word out there by running a Facebook page and having a dedicated Twitter handle to put out news. But we don't write the articles ourselves. That's really not our job. So if anybody would cover the lawsuit, we will share it.
What is the Facebook page and the Twitter page and the Twitter account handle?
They're both DNC fraud lawsuits. So on Facebook, it's facebook.com/DNC fraud lawsuit. And on Twitter, it's the same, at DNC fraud lawsuit.
And what?
And you know, I have to say that I will put coverage, because I manage both. Okay, some people are wondering who the heck managed. It's me. Every day. So, you know, we'll put up coverage from different sources. We're very we like to take a WikiLeaks approach to this, which is we're not partisan. This lawsuit is not a partisan lawsuit. Okay, our dedication is to the lawsuit and the members of the class that we seek to represent. So if we get coverage, we're going to share it. And if you go there, you'll see coverage from very, very different sources. You'll see coverage from Tim Black, Nico House, H.A. Goodman, Jack Holler, Katie Johnstone, the Independent Left, and you will also see coverage from the independent right press. Okay, Milo Yiannopoulos just came out with an article talking about the recent filings in the case. Okay, and he covered it, and we're going to share it. Not going to silence anybody. If you cover the lawsuit and it meets minimal writing standards, we're going to share it. I know some people get their underwear in a bunch over it, but we're going to share it. This is not a partisan case.
But considering that, this is a pretty serious lawsuit, you're suing the DNC, MSNBC or CNN or even Fox News hasn't invited you to come on and talk about it?
Fox wrote an article. Fox did cover it. They wrote an article. I think Hannity wrote an article about it. CNN, I believe one of their journalists tweeted about it. And nothing from MSNBC. They may or may not cover it after the order comes out. We'll have to wait and see. And that's all I have to say. I actually prefer inaction versus what the Washington Post did, which is to kick the lawsuit in the teeth. I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, and all you have to do is just read this transcript you sent me. It would appear to me that the defense is frivolous. They weren't even prepared.
Exactly. What is their problem?
Well, Washington Post, they're pretty much in the pocket of the Clintons.
Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.
With New Year's resolutions, many of us will make a vow to eat healthier, and that's a good thing. But what about our beloved pets and their nutrition? Greetings, Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here, and I'm on a mission to provide better nutrition for cats and dogs because, truthfully, all pet food is dead food, which is why we created Rough Greens and Meow Greens in the first place. We bring their food back to life with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, antioxidants, and so much more. All in a tasty formula that your dog and cat will love. You can improve your pet's coat, digestion, energy, and have less vet bills. Let 2025 bring a new year and a new pet. Get a Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20. Get a 100% discount with promo code BESTFRIEND. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code BESTFRIEND. Bring your pet's food back to life with Rough Greens. So good, your pet will ask for it by name.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Seems to me. What are you going to do, though, you know? Now, what is it?
What I do is I get on Twitter and I scream at the journalists, and they scream right back and tell me that I have a horrible personality. Apparently, this seems to be the new standard among certain journalists who are unwilling to cover this lawsuit, and when you really probe them and ask them why, they say, it's because I don't like the lawyers behind it. And
they really said
my response is, oh, gee, really? That's your standard? That must really explain why you cover Trump nonstop, because you like the guy. You know, just cover the lawsuit.
Wait, they actually said...
I think...
They actually said that? They actually said that they don't like the lawyers?
Yes. Okay, there's a journalist at The Intercept called Greg Greenwald. Okay? He actually tweeted out and said that he would consider covering the DNC lawsuit, but he finds Jared Beck's Twitter personality to be too odious. Which, to me, I smell bullshit a mile high, okay? That should not be a reason not to cover a story. Especially a lawsuit that so many people are clamoring for news about. I know this because they contact my office. You know?
Well, especially, too, since most lawyers have a reputation of being unlikable, you know? No offense. But wait, also, too, isn't your Twitter handle something like Cranky Lawyer or something like that?
It's E. Lee Beck.
Oh.
You know?
Who is the cranky one? There's a cranky Twitter account.
I'm the cranky lawyer.
So your Twitter is Cranky Lawyer.
I'm being honest, you know. I'm actually. You can't say I didn't warn you.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525. 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flight Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Tina Helmuth is writing an ongoing series of fact-fiction books that boldly takes on today's most heinous crimes. Suffer the Little Children, The Wrath of the Father, and Unbreakable. Deeply researched and mixed with the supernatural, good versus evil makes these thrillers hard to put down. Available at Lulu.com in paperback or ebook.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
When is the return date on this? The next date, the next court date?
Well, we're just waiting. We're waiting on the court to issue its order on the motion to dismiss. We just filed. We alerted the court to the strange calls that we've been getting.
Right.
I'm trying. I'm calm, but I'm not gonna lie. I know that all my co-counsel, my husband Jared, our co-counsel Cullen, and our co-counsel Tony, they have all expressed concern. So trying to figure out what steps we should take, if any, to secure our safety, and if that should be necessary.
Yeah, I do know.
I don't know. I've never been in the situation before, Ed.
Yeah, I do know. I know how stressful these things can be, and especially when the other side is playing rough, and and then you got this whole fringe element of people kind of you know what I mean? Like that straight.
Look, people are very angry, okay? They're angry about the political situation. And I just saw on Twitter, I saw a professor, okay, a professor at Columbia University. Basically, he tweeted out that he's not a violent person, but he just wanted to slap the stupid out of third-party voters. And people are very angry, and I don't know why a professor of political science seems to be so intolerant. But be that as it may, I don't want people to see this lawsuit as something bigger than it is. It's a civil lawsuit. It's not the cause of the problems in our government. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, hopefully it'll shine a spotlight onto what went on in the primary. But, you talk about this guy who was saying he wanted to slap third-party voters. I could top that for you. I don't know if you've been watching this thing that's going on in London right now with these buses running over people. There's a huge terrorism incident going on in London right now at the London Bridge and several other locations. And I was watching Facebook, reading this motion before you came on the air. And the woman said, well, Trump needs to push the button. He needs to push the red button. And I says, push the red button on England? You want him to bomb England? And she goes, wherever it is that's going on. Okay. So it just seems to me that, I know, we're reaching a level. Like, the woman didn't even understand that England was our ally and was, we're reaching a level of ignorance, I guess you might call it. Or
frustration. Well,
yeah.
I think people are very frustrated.
Yeah.
I think that look, I think that whatever your issues are, we all have our individual issues. For some people, that's race based. For some people, that's economic based. For some people, they just want health insurance, damn it. But whatever issue it is, our government doesn't seem to be really attending to our needs. That's what it's dawning on me. And the DNC lawsuit is proof of that, because the voice of the voters was completely stomped on by the defendants. Okay, regardless of what they wanted, it was immaterial. Didn't matter. So I think we need to fix that situation, and then I think we can focus on, the different needs that folks are seeking, regardless of what that may be. But we don't have a system that's working right now. I think that's something that everybody can agree on. And it's interesting that you call yourself a socialist, because just a couple of days ago I was talking to a gentleman who can only be described as alt-right. And I had a very cordial and productive telephone conversation with this young man, just like I'm having with you. Okay? And I realized that regardless of, and I'm sure there's a lot of political issues that I differ with him completely on, but the point is, I realize that when it comes to certain concerns we have about the way our government is structured, we are all on the same page. Believe me, we are all on the same page.
Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.
With New Year's resolutions, many of us will make a vow to eat healthier, and that's a good thing. But what about our beloved pets and their nutrition? Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here, and I'm on a mission to provide better nutrition for cats and dogs, because truthfully, all pet food is dead food, which is why we created Rough Greens and Meow Greens in the first place. We bring their food back to life with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, antioxidants, and so much more. All in a tasty formula that your dog and cat will love. You can improve your pet's coat, digestion, energy, and have less vet bills. Let 2025 bring a new year and a new pet. Get a Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20. Get a 100% discount with promo code BESTFRIEND. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code BESTFRIEND. Bring your pet's food back to life with Rough Greens. So good, your pet will ask for it by name.
Yeah, because we're all getting screwed.
I know it's shocking. I know that sounds that's shocking, but it's true. Okay. And the only reason, and the reason that I'm talking to folks is that this lawsuit, the DNC lawsuit, has shown folks who of different political persuasions that whatever the DNC party leadership is doing, we the voters are not happy with it. Okay? And so, for example, if you look on the Facebook page for the DNC fraud lawsuit, I was on there the other day, and there are comments such as, I'm a Republican, and I'm reading these comments, and I'm realizing that you folks are just as frustrated with your party as we are with our party. Okay?
Well, because we all know we're getting screwed. Okay, everybody on the left is getting screwed, and everybody on the right is getting screwed. But the thing is, I think that the people on the left, the people that were Bernie supporters at least, can realize that our situation isn't going to be benefited by giving tax breaks to the people like Trump class, the 1%, and hoping it's going to trickle down to us. Whereas, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I hear you. Now we're going into policy. So here's my response to that. Okay? I'm going to tell you something, Ed. Okay. You think two Americans with diametrically opposed political views are very acrimonious. Let me tell you, there's a situation that is even more acrimonious than that. You know what that is?
What?
Think of the most acrimonious divorce.
Mm.
You would agree with me that that's pretty acrimonious, right?
Oh, I could tell you a story.
Now, okay, let me tell you. Yeah. You can be stuck in a bad marriage for 30 years. But when you get a lawyer, it ain't cheap, but you get a lawyer and you go to court, and look, no divorce lasts 30 years. You know what happens when you get into the system? You divvy up your assets, you come up with some custody plan, and you get divorced. The point I'm trying to make is, if we had a representative government, our Congress people would do the same thing our lawyers would do. Okay, they'd go to D.C., they'd horse trade, they'd come up with a deal, they'd come back to us and say, okay, I got you a deal. This is the best I can do. You should take it. And you know what? We would take it. And this deal, I think most Americans can live with, regardless of our background, because there's going to be a lot of horse trading. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. But that would be if they were coming back to us with the deal. But who are they going back to with the deal? Is the lobbyists. They're going back to the lobbyists with the deal. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And that's right. And so the lobbyists and big business, they're coexisting just fine. Okay? Yeah. They're getting their deals horse traded in Congress. You know, so that's the problem. They don't get rats. So we're on the streets, we're bleeding. People are dying. They don't care. That's a problem that I see. So I'm not really concerned about differing political. When somebody says, you know, how could you vote for Trump? You must be in favor of blah, blah, blah. I said, you know, that's just secondary. Let's first fix the system. Otherwise, we're just wasting our breath.
I can sympathize with you there because, you know, listen, if Clintons would have came in, it would have been a 30-year dynasty with Chelsea, you know, and I even joke around that they would have brought that kid Danny, you know, that kid, the illegitimate kid, Danny, that's supposed to be Clinton's son. They would have brought him in, adopted him, and brought him to continue the dynasty. It would have went on forever, you know, and they would have consolidated their power to a point that we never would have got out of it, you know. At least Trump is, you know, he would have been fun to watch, and he's going to disintegrate before our eyes. He's falling apart right before our eyes.
Well, look, I mean, if you can't have optimism, what else do you have? So, I think there's a lot of work left to be done, but I see a lot of determination in a lot of people. So hopefully we'll get to the right result. And you know,
I don't want to come off the wrong way. I'm 55 years old. I'm going to be 55 in September. And I think I'm more optimistic now than I have been, you know, obviously 10 years ago, before Bernie came along. I think I'm more optimistic now. I see my kid. I see all her friends in high school. They're all they're not afraid of the word socialism. They're all to the left. I see the local activists here who they came out of Bernie supporters. These are the same people that were marching against the murder of Tashi Farmer, the police murder of Tashi Farmer, unarmed man at the Venetian Hotel. Mm-hmm. The same people that were at the first Bernie rally that we had where the debate against Bernie, against Hillary, the first rally we had, where we had 10 times more people than them. And the only people she had were these union workers that were standing around in their union T-shirts drinking coffee. And we were marching up and down the strip every direction, chanting, you know. And it's the same people I saw then, that first march, are the same people now active, you know, standing up for this unarmed guy getting shot down the street. So I'm optimistic. Yeah. Trust me, I am. I'm just old and tired, you know. I know.
Yeah.
Is there anything I haven't asked you about the lawsuit that you want? Do you think it's important for people to know?
No, I think folks should go to the Facebook page. They should go to. They should look at the court filings. That's JAMPAC, JAMPAC.us/DNC lawsuit. DNC lawsuit. JAMPAC.us/DNC lawsuit. If you go there, you can see all the court file documents, and then on the bottom there's a hyperlink to the miscellaneous documents page, and you can see you can read the transcript. You know, I used to be a teacher, so I'm assigning you all homework.
No, trust me, my audience loves that. I got a members section. We have all the Trump University lawsuit docs up there. We got all the. Oh no, yeah, you kidding?
Yeah.
My people are fanatics with that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're gonna. This is.
Well, you know. brew a pot of coffee and dig in. There's a lot of material.
Trust me, yeah. Now, what about now we have a new head of the DNC, Perez, and then his Ellison, his vice president there. Do you see any difference, any hope that they're going to make any kind of a change away from the Clintons to a more fair process?
I have no idea. All I know is Mr. Tom Perez has not crank called me. So,
okay.
That's the only, I've been getting calls from Ms. Wasserman Schultz's Aventura office, if indeed it is from there. I don't really know what's going on with the internal workings of the DNC.
And no one's reached out to you.
That's really not really. I'm really focused on waiting for the discovery phase to open up.
Yeah, and you don't think there's any chance that this you would be dismissed at this next return date?
Oh, you mean dismissed with prejudice?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not. You can read the court transcript. I'm optimistic that would not happen. The court has not given any indication of that. The court has said that this was a very interesting case. I believe in a prior hearing, the court has called this case a case of great magnitude. So you can read into that what you will. But the best we can do, I can advise everyone, is to wait and see what order the court provides.
And if people want to support you, they want to help you, what can they do? Donate? Do you take donations or anything like that?
No, class actions have historically been funded by the attorneys.
Right. So that must be difficult, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what you can do is you can support our independent press. They really have been a lifeline. If you see a journalist that is covering the DNC lawsuit and you think he or she has done a good job, you can reach out to them and see if you can become a patron. I believe there's a website called Patreon.com that allows you to be a monthly subscriber. I know Katie Johnstone, H.A. Goodman, Tim Black, all these folks have Patreon accounts. And it could be something as low as, $10 a month, but, you're supporting them. You're allowing them to be independent. I think that would be a wonderful thing for folks to do. It doesn't have to break your bank either.
Yeah, Nico House too. Don't forget him, and all the stations were on.
Oh yes, absolutely, Nico House.
Who actually just confided in everybody. Just revealed that he was actually homeless during a portion of all this struggle that he's been fighting the past year and a half. He was living out of his car. So
I think a lot of I have to tell you, Ed. I think a lot of the young folks, the millennials now, they're very itinerant, and I think that they are they're not really into having a lot of material possessions, so they live very, very light. Okay, so I think technically you can call that homelessness. But it certainly doesn't mean he wasn't being productive at that time.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, he's been working steady 24 hours a day. I know that. And he needs support, too. And all the stations we're on, too. Like right now we're on American Freedom Radio, and I know that we're on the verge of getting the Internet and the phone line shut off. So, there's a donate button on American Freedom Radio and all the other stations, too, that carry the show. Otherwise, we're just out here, shaking in the wind. Whereas the other side, they're getting 4% of all your donations, So it's unbelievable. How successful was your PAC, though? When you were running the PAC there and you were raising funds, how successful was that?
Well, I got to be honest. We started up Jam PAC because, there's a $2,700 limit to campaign contributions for a candidate. You know that, right?
Right.
Okay. So, because if you're just a Joe Schmo and you want to support your candidate like Bernie Sanders, you can only donate $2,700. Oh, you can't donate more than that because you might influence him, apparently.
Yeah.
But if you have a super PAC, you can donate millions of dollars. So that's why we started the super PAC. So we started the super PAC, and I put in some money. I threw in $15,000, and I wanted it to be a group effort. I didn't want it to be Elizabeth's project, So people have donated. In the beginning, I think we got a handful of folks who donated $27, which is very symbolic.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten any donations recently. There's a gentleman out of Massachusetts that seems to have put it on auto donation, and he donates $5 every month. It's very touching. And completely unsolicited recently, there's a gentleman on Twitter donated $1,000. We're not fundraising. I do have plans for Jam Pack, and I need to emphasize that it is not related to the lawsuit. I do have plans for Jam Pack. I hope to deploy them sometime this year. And I'm hoping that once I do that, folks will be very happy with it. I think you will. I think folks will be happy with it. We'll have to wait and see.
Before you got involved in a Bernie campaign, like a lot of the law firms I know, even the small law firms, the husband and wife ones, they donate to all the candidates, all the local candidates, both sides, Republican and because they need to, make those friendships and those kind of connections. Were you guys involved in local politics before this?
No.
Not at all.
No, I'm not really a political person. I'll tell you okay. I think the first campaign I ever donated money to was President Obama's campaign. Okay, I think I donated a little bit of money to President Obama. We voted for President Obama twice. And then in Florida, I got really involved with Governor Chris's reelection campaign for the governor of Florida as a citizen. I just donated time and resources to the campaign. He lost anyway. And that was really it. That's all I've ever done.
What about Tim Canova?
I don't really. No, I mean, Tim Canova. He's not. I don't think I'm even in that district.
Okay. But it would have been nice if he would have won and got Schultz out of there.
I did meet with Tim Canova after the elections were over, and he gave us some T-shirts, which was very nice. I still wear his T-shirts.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to get him on the show. I couldn't get him on.
That's for all.
Yeah.
I hope he runs again.
Yeah.
You got to keep on ticking.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Okay. So what does Nico do?
That's crazy, I'm not a political person. I don't really understand politics. It's very befuddling. But I think a lot of people are like that. They were never political before, but now they very much pay attention to what's going on. It's kind of like digging a ditch. You got to do it.
Yeah, if you can support the local candidates, and even even here locally, we're learning that these guys on the school board, the school board trustees and stuff like that, we got to get all our own people into these. What I've also found too, just because, like I said, I'm new to Democratic Party politics. I was one of those guys who used to give to both parties back when I was in New York. I used to own a nightclub in New York and stuff like that. I was very involved in a lot of stuff where you needed political favors, But I don't now. I've lived a pretty quiet life until recently. But one of the things we found out, too, is that the volunteers in the DNC are inserted in there by these lobbyists and these big companies, these big billion-dollar companies and stuff.
Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.
If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Like that, they pay these people to go there and volunteer and influence this. It's just rigged from top to bottom,
Yes.
I know. And I try not to be discouraged and try not to be discouraging. But again, we're talking about a young guy like Nico House. He's very enthusiastic, very optimistic. Okay, and it's really good to see that. And I'll do anything I can to support him. Now, what is he?
Oh, he's very free thinking. You know,
a lot of energy,
very determined, very energetic.
Yeah, you gotta love that. Okay, sharp guy too. Now, what is he doing to help you with the lawsuit? What is his role in all this?
You know, I think Nico was the one who alerted us that there may be some funny business going on.
Right.
You know, I remember he was talking about the Hillary Victory Fund. I didn't know what he was talking about. He was talking about how there's, you know, did you look at this, the Hillary Victory Fund? I didn't even know what he was talking about. But I guess there's some weird campaign issues there. I have to be honest with you. I don't know the complete story and when it comes to the Hillary Victory Fund and how it meshes in with the Democratic Party. But, you know, he was talking about stuff like that very early on.
Yeah,
he was investigating that very early on. And
yeah, there were funds, donations that went to the DNC that was supposed to be shared by both, you know, but proportionately they went to the Hillary campaign. And he was talking about this early on, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
Well, he was right.
Yeah. I know.
He was right.
It's right in our face. And really right now, the only person I can see doing anything about this is you and your husband. You know what I mean? As I sit here and think about this.
God.
Is there anybody really...
What you need to do... Yeah, well, you need to get, you need to get more lawyers to file these cases because in class actions, you can file copycat cases. There can be the same action in different jurisdictions, but I just don't see anybody else wanting to do it with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, that's very interesting because we have lawyers here, you know, that are part of our little group here.
Why don't you go ahead and talk to them about it.
Yeah, maybe I know a bunch of them are listening right now because I tagged everybody, all the locals, you know, who hear me complaining about them all the time. I might be on the outside.
I got people contacting me saying, "Why didn't you choose me as a class representative? What's wrong with me?" You know, they would perhaps it would be like to be a class representative in a duplicate case somewhere.
Well, you know, you're a little bit familiar with our situation here in Nevada. We were totally screwed, and our donations were totally ripped off, and our votes didn't count at the county primary, the county convention. What kind of lawsuit could we file here to fight back? A fraud?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you without looking at everything that happened. I'm not comfortable giving just an off-the-cuff answer.
Yeah.
But you would have to confer with an election lawyer and see what they say. Election law is very complicated, and it differs by jurisdiction to jurisdiction. And I'm not an expert in Nevada election law, but there may be some very specific arcane laws there that may apply to your situation that I wouldn't know about, you know?
Yeah. Especially since we're like a frontier kind of country, state, you know. But also, too, you know, when the Green Party, because I was kind of involved in this, I was a volunteer for the Green Party, when we were trying to get our signatures to get Jill Stein on the ballot here in Nevada, they ruled against us. Even though we had more than enough signatures, they started questioning every signature that we were sending to them. And it was kind of suggested here that it was because the judge was appointed by Harry Reid, and it was all stacked against us. But down there in Florida, you don't feel those kind of you don't see this kind of behind the scenes backroom kind of problems, do you?
You're saying that you sense corruption in the judicial system there?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Believe it or not.
Well, that's too bad.
I know. I hear there's gambling in the casinos too.
That's very disappointing.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what we're going to do about it. We have to make a report. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, you've given us a lot of time. What do you want to leave us with?
You know, just cheer us on. Please don't throw pot shots at us on Twitter. It drives my husband crazy. We're doing our best.
Yeah. Well, we do appreciate it. Everyone I know appreciates it. And it's a shame that I think that that whole meme about Sean Lucas, when they falsely claimed that he was the lead counsel, that probably got more publicity and more traction on the internet than people that actually know the facts of this case, you know. And it's a shame that we don't have the same urgency that everybody was sharing that meme. Wouldn't be sharing this motion that you sent me, this transcript, you know, from this hearing. and people are more aware of what's really going on with the case.
Yeah.
You know,
if you Google Zach Haller, ZACHHALLER, Zach Haller, he wrote a couple of excellent articles distilling the hearing. He wrote an article called "The 7 Revelations from the Hearing."
Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.
If you Google it, it'll come right up. And he read the entire transcript of the hearing and distilled it into an excellent article. Zach is a fantastic journalist, and I always plug in.
There's Zach Hiller or Heller?
Haller, HALLER.
And what does he write
Haller.
for? What publication?
Counter Propa. It's a publication. It's an online publication put out by H.A. Goodman.
Okay. I was actually on that today, but I didn't find a Zach Haller article because I got to tell you, I pretty much searched for everything I could find, and it's slim, it's weak. You know what I mean?
I know. Well, there's a lot of material, but you have to start digging around it.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from the independent press, and Zach Haller, after the transcript came out, I know he spent the entire weekend sleeping very minimally, pouring through that, and he wrote that article, which is a masterpiece.
Okay, excellent. I'll check that out. Zach Haller on Intertopa, something like that, right? Countertopa.
Counter Propa, which is, I think, short for counter propaganda.
Right.
Counter Propa.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the show. If anything else comes up, any kind of new developments in this case, please get a hold of me, okay? We'll put you right back on the air, and we'll keep people notified of what's going on.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you for having me on.
No, thank you so much, and say hi to your husband for me, okay? And tell him thank you, too.
Okay. All right, take care.
Good night. Okay, well, there you have Elizabeth Lee Beck, who's the co-counsel at beckandlee.com, and they're filing this lawsuit against the DNC lawsuit. We covered a lot of stuff here. We took Nico House, of course, and my buddy. We discussed Seth Rich, okay? Yeah, thanks, Elizabeth. We discussed the Sean Lucas case, okay? And as you know, I've been talking to one of his lifelong friends. And also to the stuff about Barrington Wisenant, this district attorney, a federal prosecutor down there in Florida who prosecutes cases involving immigration and passports and all that kind of stuff, who I can understand why they're shook up down there. This would be something similar to a federal prosecutor is a big deal. A federal judge is a big deal. And for them to be found dead like this in the water with their dress clothes on, their street clothes, and they're not out there swimming. They're not out there on a boat. You know, they didn't go out on a rowboat or something. You know, like it wasn't fishing out there. He was wearing his court clothes. And they find his body washed up. So a lot of people are speculating there's a connection to the Sawan brothers who were working for the Wasserman Schultz because there was some kind of thing with their visas and passports as well. I don't know. That seems to be a stretch for me, but who knows? These Awan brothers are criminals, and they were working for the W. Wasserman Schultz. So, but to thread all this together here, here we had somebody who's down there directly involved in all this, and she's suspicious of all this as well. But I don't think we came up with any major smoking guns in any of this, to tell you the truth. Okay, and what else did we cover today? Check out, by the way, too, beckandlee.com. There's some very interesting stuff on there, and it's jampack.us. Check that out as well. There's a lot of really nice blog posts on there about why they chose to become attorneys, plaintiffs' attorneys, rather than going to work with these big corporate law firms. And the Facebook page is DNC Fraud Lawsuit, and you can find them also, too, on Twitter at DNC Fraud Lawsuit. I was telling you guys before, I got a show coming up in about 2 weeks. I'm not ready to tell you who it's about, but it's a very famous, notorious criminal case here in the United States of several murders that some believe were politically motivated. But we have a tape recording of one of the convicted defendants in that case from prison during a time when he's under sentencing review, and he's admitting. We have a 20-minute tape. I got to get a hold of Danny and see if he can play this tape for us during the interview, and we have to clean it up a little bit too because the audio is not so great on it. So I'm preparing all this. I'm going to be putting out a press release on this week, okay, where the convicted murderer in this case, while his sentence is under review, is confessing to an additional 30 murders, and he's claiming his partner was involved in 70 murders, and he was assisting in those murders as well. So pretty fascinating stuff there. That's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks. Let's see what else I got coming up this week. And also too, we were just talking to our guest here, Elizabeth Lee Beck, about how she's being interviewed by these guys on the alt-right. I'm interviewing a gentleman who's extremely right-wing. I believe it's on Monday, and what he's talking about is how the head of a DNC college group or something like that was convicted with child pornography. There was a child porn arrest of this DNC officer. So we'll be hearing from him. I'm going to be interviewing him on Monday. No, Monday is a Jim Poorman. Remember Poorman? He wrote the book, A Poor Man's Guide to Eating in San Francisco, stuff like that. All these Poor Man's Guides, because his name was Poorman, Poorman. But he's famous because he was the original co-host on Loveline. Oh, I'm working on something big. Almost as big as that other case I was telling you about with the guy who confessed in prison. And this involves the story of that TV show. Remember, I Know My Name is Steven, about Steven Strainer, the little boy that was kidnapped at like 7 years old, and he was kept for 10 years by this kidnapper named Parnell. And then his brother was a Carrie Strainer, who then became the Yosemite Park killer. This is fascinating stuff, guys. Okay. All right, so we're out of time. Hey, OppermanReport.com, that's my member section. That's how you keep me supported and keep me going. We just uploaded a whole bunch of new stuff on there. Maybe I'll upload some of these DNC lawsuit documents that I have here. And also that recording we have of the guy committing the confessing in prison. We're going to have that in the member section as well. Okay, good night. Thank you.
And now a word from our sponsors. OppermanReport.com. Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Do you like the work that you see us doing here at Opperman Report? You can support that work by becoming a member at OppermanReport.com. And as you have access to over 200 exclusive shows and interviews that you can't find on YouTube or Spreaker or iHeart or iTunes or KYAH. You can't find them anywhere else online, exclusive to our member sections, to our members. Also, too, there's images, videos, documents, court docs. And don't forget, you can hear your ad played here on the Opperman Report, reach hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis because the show is repeated every day all over the world. Contact me at oppermanreport@gmail.com and I'll give you a good deal on advertising rates.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
Is your credit in bad shape? Do you need a new car? Ready to buy a new house? You want to rent an apartment? Are you going to apply for a job? Any one of these activities, they're going to ask for a credit report and then check out your credit score. Let Dynamic Solutions 2 erase your negative credit remarks. They offer a life-changing, dynamic financial solution. The finest in fast, professional, affordable credit repair. They have affordable monthly prices. They accept Visa, MasterCard, PayPal options available. You go to www.dynamicsolutions2, that's the number 2.com, or call 424-888-2820.
Now, if you enter promo code ED or you mention Ed Opperman, you get a 10% discount. How's that? You get a free consultation, all negative items removed, get back in positive credit position, Dynamic Solutions 2, life-changing dynamic financial solutions.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. PureSoapFlakes.com. 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525. 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities. Fentanyl. It could be hiding anywhere, including in your house, including in your medicine cabinet, or maybe at a friend's house when you're hanging out, playing games, and get offered a pill. Don't take chances. If a drug didn't come from a pharmacy directly to you, you can find fentanyl using a simple strip you can pick up at your local pharmacy. Don't take it until you test it, because fentanyl can be hiding anywhere. Brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Mental Disabilities.